Have you ever heard of a great idea that works a little too well? Today, we're going to look at a coffee company that was so successful it almost broke them. It's a fascinating story about how they went from literally drowning in orders to riding the wave of their own growth and what any of us can learn from it.
All right, so let's get into it. First, you got to meet the company at the heart of our story, Nomadic Coffee. Now, their goal was never just to sell you a good cup of coffee. No, they wanted to sell you a whole experience.
Okay, so check this out. This is their secret sauce. Inside every single bag of their coffee, they put a poem. They feature like 30 or 40 different poets every quarter. The founder called it a Cracker Jack-like experience. You know, that little surprise and delight you get? What a cool idea for your morning coffee. So what about the coffee itself? Well, it wasn't just a gimmick. They're a Bay Area company, and they are serious about quality, using only top-tier organic beans. And their customers? They range from your local neighborhood cafes all the way to huge chains like Safeway. The whole thing was started by founder Thomas Landry, a guy whose love for poetry is literally sealed in every bag. But this is where our story takes a really interesting turn. See, after a super successful rebranding, all that great attention created a brand new problem, a problem of success, that actually started to overwhelm their entire operation. And let's be really clear here. This wasn't a sign of failure. It was the complete opposite. Their rebranding was a massive hit. Doors just flew open, and suddenly they were flooded with new wholesale customers. The problem? Their old way of doing things was about to completely snap. And this really shows you the heart of the issue. On one hand, you have the old way. I mean, can you imagine? Taking orders by hand, managing a growing business over text messages? It's personal, sure, but it's so messy and just begging for mistakes. What they really needed was a real system, something accurate, easy for their customers, and an ordering experience that was as professional as their coffee. So, faced with all this chaos, Nomadic Coffee knew they had to find a solution, and fast. They needed a tool that could bring some order back to the roastery and, let them get back to doing what they do best, sourcing and roasting fantastic coffee. And you can just hear the relief in the owner's own words. Thomas Landry knew exactly what they needed, a platform for accuracy. And for them, that solution was a tool called BlueCart. This was the turning point. This was the moment they finally found a way to actually manage all that amazing new growth. So what exactly is this BlueCart thing? Well, it's basically a special tool for businesses just like Nomadic. It's a wholesale ordering platform that lets their buyers, the cafes, the grocery stores, place orders online whenever they want, 24/7. It sounds simple, but this concept was about to change everything for them. So what did this new system actually change? Well, the company went from total chaos to total clarity. Let's take a look at the after picture and see just how much their day-to-day business was transformed. Instead of all those scattered text messages and handwritten notes, the company now had one central digital hub. This single place was where everything happened for both their internal team and their customers. It created one single source of truth for every order. Just think about the efficiency gain there. And this wasn't just about processing the orders they already had. Remember, they were hiring more salespeople to keep up with demand. For them, BlueCart became what you'd call a turnkey solution. It wasn't just another piece of software. It was a core part of their strategy for scaling up the team. And this is what's so powerful about a good system. A new sales rep could basically walk in the door and be effective almost immediately. Instead of some long, complicated training, they had a simple platform to learn. They could start bringing in sales right away, which for a rapidly growing company is absolutely crucial. So, after following Nomadic Coffee's journey from this quirky, poetic idea to an operational powerhouse, what's the big lesson? What can we all take away from this? The huge lesson here is actually pretty simple. A great product gets you in the game, but it's the right systems that let you actually win. Nomadic Coffee's poetry and amazing beans got them noticed, for sure, but it was their decision to invest in the right operational system that allowed them to scale their success instead of being crushed by it. And that really leaves us with one final thought. It doesn't matter if you're running a coffee company, a tech startup, or a creative agency. Take a hard look at your own processes. What systems, or maybe lack of systems, are the real bottleneck? What's the one thing that's holding you back from your next level of growth?